Welcome back to Sports Check on this Monday morning. It's the last Monday of August 2023. On a day when the president is touring Bungoma County, we've got the ILRI meeting on livestock and climate change, and the Kenya Defence Forces have started their recruitment exercise. We've had the official opening of the Wangari Maathai Institute for Peace and Environmental Studies at the University of Nairobi, and this was graced by the Cabinet Secretary for Environment, Climate Change and Forestry, the Honorable Soipan Tuya. We've got the Somana Glow Initiative in Dagoretti County, and also the signing of the performance contract by the Ministry of the East African Community, Asals and Regional Development. So that's part of our news cycle as we continue with that. And right now we get into our second conversation as we wind down the program. And to introduce our sign language interpreter, we've got Lucy Maura at this point. Now, in studio with me, I've got two gentlemen, and on my immediate left, we've got Ben Haggai Onyango. What Ben Haggai Onyango did is that he cycled for 7,000 kilometers across 9 countries, and this is to push for road safety for cyclists. And on my far left, we've got Elkana Torio, who's been working together with him. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you so much.
And I'll start with you, Ben. Cycling as and the enthusiasm for this, and then deciding to do 7,000 kilometers across Kenya. Basically, all of East Africa community countries with the exception of DRC and South Sudan, then add Zambia, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe. What drove you to do this?
Thank you for having me in the show. The thing that drove me to do this was basically just appreciating the fact that I turned 40 years, and I asked myself, let me check my physical
Life
fitness.
Begins at 40.
Yeah, I like that phrase. And so I said, I need to do this, and using a bicycle. And so it became a challenge for myself, and one of the biggest green mobility is trying to do self-challenging aspects, riding longer and so on. So it was my first time to take such a challenge, riding across 9 countries, covering 7,299 kilometers until yesterday when I got home. And so that was the zeal. What can I do at this particular age as a challenge?
Oh, okay, so ideally you don't look like someone who just came from riding 7,300 kms.
True. There's a little bit of background about myself. I've kept physical fitness as a priority since I was young. And so even as I talk about all this and appreciating the question that you've mentioned, the critical thing is I only lost 3 kilos. I expected that I'm going to lose like 10 kilos. But physical activity has been part and parcel of my life. So when I got an injury, I went into surgery. When I came back, they told me you can't do a lot of pounding because of running. And so cycling became an option, which is doing great and for me for fitness, and equally just appreciating the fact that I can keep doing this and inspiring other people.
Elkana, let me come to you. The whole initiative is about safety for cyclists. We've seen cyclists in this town. There are those who cycle. They've got, they may have the safety equipment. For example, these helmets, and also the guards for, their elbows and, I mean to protect that. But there are those others, being pushed off the road. But the others, let's just say, they really take safety as number 7 on their priority list. What's the whole concept of Ben's Odyssey across this region?
What we wanted to bring into awareness of road safety is to push the government to assist us in creating cycling lanes within Nairobi County and even other counties. There are some new roads that are coming up, and we want to push the government to assist us give bigger cycling lanes and ensure that the motorists who violates the road rules, the road regulations, are actually taken into account, so that each and every person has the right to use the road, and hence road safety for each and every one of us.
I think Ngong Road has got that, but we know it's other people on 2 wheels who are using it.
Yes.
Non-green 2 wheels. So how are you trying to communicate, for example, even to your fellow cyclists, such that this safety aspect is brought out as you use these lanes that are there, and also when you ride on places that don't have designated bicycle lanes?
So mostly we want to ride as a team and ask people to join us every weekend. We ride every weekend to ensure that other cyclists or other road users can see us having ourselves on the road, so that they'll ensure that safety is guaranteed for each and every one of us. People fear cycling to town because of motorists. they see that most motorists are pushing them away, hence the fear of coming with their bicycles to town. So we want to push and ask each and every one of us that let's respect other road users in terms of when someone is on the road, respect that person.
Ben,
yes.
I grew up in an era when bicycles were licensed by local authorities. Yeah. So that means they must have had a front light. They must have had reflectors at the back, just to make sure that everyone is there. And there had to be the bell. Helmets like this were not necessary. And also, you also have a whistle here. Just explain, okay, first, explain the whistle. And then these are the safety things that everyone must have as a cyclist.
Thank you so much. So, true. So safety starts from the bike to the person. And so for me, there are certain accessories that help me to be visible. Going across 9 countries, sometimes 1 hour behind or otherwise, you'll find I get into darkness. My helmet has lights. You cannot see them right now. So it improves my visibility among other road users. 2, when we get into town, sometimes because of traffic and everything, the bell might not be loud enough, especially like in urban cities where there's a lot of activities and loud noise that are happening. But when you whistle, it actually alerts any other road users to appreciate that, hey, there's someone who is coming, so they can look at the side mirrors. What has also worked well and I think will be helpful is having signage. Like for example, in Malawi, they had a huge signage written, share the road. It's for everyone. We all want to get home safe. I'm at kilometer 5,000. I have 2,000 to go. Am I going to get home safe? And our roads, whichever country it is, how safe are we within those spaces? Small things like, for example, as you're putting it across, do I have lights so that other road users can appreciate that there's someone also who is trying to adhere to the same traffic loop? Just as Rory said, it's not only for the motorists, but also for us who are using 2 wheels or non-motorized. How can we do that? Have reflectors, we can be seen, and also when we break the rules, we should also get the same conversation at the police station. Why were you not having this? So that it's a two-way, so that we appreciate the infrastructure that has been invested in and also articulate that policy can be improved. If we don't have one, then it can be improved so that we can later on have generations that will appreciate where did it start from and where we're heading to in terms of having cyclists on the road and other than motorized.
So I have my bicycle, and I know Elkana, I want to come to you. What's the first 3 things that you'd encourage somebody to have in terms of safety? I know these helmets doesn't come cheap. Can I use a motorcyclist helmet for a start?
Yeah, well,
because I know some of these things almost look like fashions. Golf shoes and and the trousers or tennis shorts and that. How do I go about it to encourage safety?
One, you need to have a cycling helmet is number 1 requirement for cycling, because we need to protect our head. Our head is very critical, right? So if you don't have helmet, we at times stop and ask people, why are you cycling on the road without helmet? Therefore, number 1 is helmet. Number 2, we have reflecting lights the behind of the bicycle and at the front, which will notify the other person coming from behind that, hey, there's a cyclist ahead, and notifying the person coming in front of you that since the lights are peeping, you'll be able to see a cyclist coming your way. Another thing that you need to have is to have a good cycling jersey that's visible, like having a yellow jersey, a red one, bright colors that will be able to be seen by other motorists. Yeah.
Closing word from you and the message that you want to pass along as after you've done 7,000 kilometers. I know you told me your bike was kept away because you might start another 7,000.
Yes, there was fear that I might do the reverse of that. My message is this: leadership is important. I might have taken the journey towards doing what you call bike parking approach. There are others who are actually doing competitive cycling. Let's have leadership in those spaces. There are those who are doing gravel bike. Let us take leadership into those spaces so that we have more cycling. Cyclists joining them so that we create this awareness level in the best way possible to across the country and even in other countries.
Thank you very much, Ben, Haggai, Onyango, and congratulations on 7,299 kilometers of an African Odyssey. And together with Elkana Torio supporting that, be mindful of other road users, pedestrians and those on bicycles, and also those on motorcycles. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being
Thank
with
you so much for having us.
Thank you very much for being with us. Time for me to hand over to Nancy Okware, who's coming in with Kurunzi Mashinani, and after that, our interview segment. Tamrini, our sign language interpreter, has been Lucy Mwaura. Have a great day. My name is Daniel Wahome.